Hello everybody! Happy Friday night. Welcome to my Zen Den. I'm so glad that you could join me tonight. Look at, you can see outside a little bit. Still, it's getting to be spring. I'm so excited. It's dark. Let's get real. It's dark outside, but I'm just ready, so ready for spring. Happy Friday. It's been a crazy week. I didn't get to join you last week. My family, my children, all shoot archery. And so we had the Minnesota State NASP competition up in Duluth. So we all went up there on Friday night and stayed overnight and hung out with the team and hung out with some other local teams. It was so much fun. And then the kids shot on Saturday morning and they did okay. They actually had a really, really good season. It's done now, so that's exciting. It was my daughter's last season since she's a senior, so she's all done with archery, but she's excited to help possibly next year. So that's really a fun little extra thing for her to do. We'll see how school goes for her next year. But so I posted a thing earlier this week, or this morning, I guess I should say. I feel crooked. I posted a thing this morning about color inspiration, and I was looking through a magazine and an ad caught my eye, and it was a bowl of lemons, and it was a beautiful like turquoise bowl and had a nice glass of ice water there, and it was on a white counter, and I just thought it was so pretty, and so I thought I'm gonna make something with that color combination. So I snapped a picture of it, and that was my inspiration for tonight. And I find color inspiration all over. There's a house in Melrose. It's a house in the middle of Melrose, and I drove by it and I'm like, that's a really cool color combination. It's got and in my head I'm naming off colors, and I've made cards with the colors from that house because I just find them so neat. So I'm going to make a project tonight, and it's not a card. So just a little different. I'm going to make, I like to go to the dollar stores, and I love watching the videos that are on like YouTube and on Facebook and stuff like that, where they take things from Dollar General and Dollar Tree and all that stuff, and they upcycle them to make something neat. So I am going to use this little jar thing. I got it for $1 at Dollar General. And I'm going to create something using Stampin Up products, so it won't look like this anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but I'm going to use that picture that I posted to make this a little more me. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we will get started with the project. 1 second. All right. Sheesh, a week off and I'm already slow at getting myself turned around here. All right, so I'm also going to raise this up just a little bit. All right, maybe. Let's get I can so do this. I've done it a million times. Why tonight so different? Okay, so this is what I'm using. It's a little like chipboard piece. It was at Dollar General. It was $1. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with this, but I'm going to just make it a little bit more me. So first thing I'm going to do is I've got a piece of designer series paper, and this is from the, I should have known the name of it, Heart and Home Pack. It's the really nice gray wood panel piece. This is what it looks like on the other side, but I'm going to use this nice panel, and I've already measured this, and it was right around 5 inches wide. Okay, so I've got a piece that's, I think, 5.5. Yes, is what I've got. And then I'm going to use good old Mod Podge, and we're going to attach this paper onto this. So that's going to be our starting point. So I've just got one of the little sponge brushes. We're going to put a light coat of Mod Podge on here. And I get such a kick out of all of the upcycling that that I see now on Facebook and on Pinterest and things like that. I think it's so fun to take something that maybe isn't really your taste but is really cheap, or something that you got on clearance, and making it your own. So we're gonna give it a try and see what you think, because we have some really awesome colors and some awesome stuff, some, you know, inspiration to use. So why not do that? So before that dries, what I'm going to do is, there's a little lip on here, so I'm going to slip that under there, right up underneath, and then just make sure that it's smoothed down. So now see, it's covering all of my wood there. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that it's smushed down really, really good on there. And I'm even going to bend it a little bit, just so I can see where my edges are and make sure that's down all the way. I'm not quite down there. I must have dried too quick on me, because I'm putting an extremely thin layer of Mod Podge on. All right. So now I am going to take, I've got a sponge block, and this is just something that I keep in my crafting area. I am a sucker for all things craft, so I'm just going to basically just file it off along the edge. And what's going to happen is that paper is eventually going to just kind of peel off, right? It's going to come loose. So we're going to do that all the way around. So it just comes loose. And I like to go just the one way, because if you notice right there, it came back up. Just go the one way and it'll make it so that the paper doesn't come up with. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to go back in and put just a little bit more Mod Podge in that edge, because it popped up. I did the bad and I pulled backwards on my sanding block. Make sure you're just going the one way, okay? And that'll hold your paper down so it doesn't pull back up, okay? All right, so then we're done with this, and now you've got a scrap. You can still use this. So we'll stick that aside. All right, so, and then it leaves a lot of dust. It leaves that paper dust, so make sure you clean that off. Okay, so now I took out the Rainbow of Happiness bundle, and all I used was this die right here. I'm actually not stamping tonight. So I took out this die right here, and what this does is it cuts out the 4 strips of the rainbow. So I've got them right here, and so what I did is I cut out, my finger can't pick it up. There we go. I cut out 4 different rainbows. One in Bermuda Bay, which is this piece here. One in Just Jade. One in Coastal Cabana. And one in Pool Party. Okay? So we're going to attach those down. And so the reason I cut one out is then I've got each piece. So I've got the rainbow. So basically if you want different colored rainbows, arches, you are going to have to cut out 4 different pieces. So I did that ahead of time so you wouldn't have to watch me cut out 4 different rainbows. So let's go ahead and put those on. I'm lining it up. I'm most concerned about this edge here, because this edge down on the bottom I'm going to have a cloud. So I'm mostly concerned about lining up the long edge of my jar. And I think you can find, if there's not a Dollar General around you, which I would be very surprised if there's not, you can buy jar-shaped pieces of wood at craft stores and Hobby Lobby and places like that. I think Walmart has some things like this. Use what you can find. If you like the shape of something, don't be afraid to take it home and make it your own. For real, it's your imagination is your limit. So basically you're limitless. So let's put that on there. And I think this is so pretty. The gray with the different colors of the bluish greens. So pretty. And that Just Jade, that is the one that's retiring here at the end of April. May 1st, actually. It is going to be retired. And if you're waiting to order from the last chance products, from the stuff that's retiring, I wouldn't wait much longer, because boy, that stuff is going fast. There's a lot of stuff that's already sold out. So I do think the in colors, the old in colors, the cardstock is still available, but I wouldn't chance it. If you want it, I wouldn't wait a whole lot longer. So like I said, I'm going to put some clouds down here. So what I'm going to do for that is I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and I've got the basic borders dies. These are not on the clearance rack or on the last chance products. They are carrying over, so that's great. This is the dies that come with it. This one here looks like clouds, so I'm going to use that one. The rest of these are really fun dies though, so set those aside. And so I'm going to line this up just like this, so it looks like a puffy cloud. And I'm actually going to go a little bit higher so I can choose where I want it to be. So I'm going to run that through my cut and emboss machine quick. And something nice about those basic borders is if your piece of paper is less than 3 inches wide, you can use the mini cut and emboss machine. So here we go. I've got that right there. So I'm going to attach it, and I'm going to use, you could use your Mod Podge or you can use Tombow. Before I attach it though, I need a little bit of glimmer. So I'm going to pull in my craft sheet here just so I don't get it all over my desk. And I'm going to just paint it with my Wink of Stella pen, just to add a little bit of shimmer. And you might not be able to see the shimmer on the camera, but you can definitely see it on the finished project. It adds just the right amount of little sparkle, especially when it'll be hanging on the wall or wherever you decide to put it. So, and this absolutely would make a beautiful card as well, if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, here's a little piece of trivia. We always use this end of the Tombow glue, it seems, right? There is another end of the Tombow glue. It's like a fatter applicator. So the end has a hole in it, and then you can spread it around. So that's the end I'm going to use tonight, just so I get that a nice thin layer and it all is stuck down. I kind of wonder if we couldn't use the Tombow glue as a Mod Podge medium, but I thought of that after, and I didn't honestly want to mess this up for you all. But I think you could use it as a Mod Podge, like to put that on the back of your piece, because it is fairly thin glue, and especially if you do it like that. However, it does dry relatively fast, you know, so I'm not sure. Maybe on a smaller project it would work well. And so here again, I'm bending it over, but I want to make sure that's sticking good too at the same time. So I'm going to let that dry for just a little bit while I'm doing my next part. So my next part is, remember there was a little bit of yellow. Oh, look it, I've got a friend. The box elder bugs are terrible at my house. I don't know where they were hiding all winter, but I wish they'd go back. Okay, so I need my yellow, right? So I'm going to make a bumblebee. So I'm going to use my Ladybug Builder punch. And remember, that's a 2-piece punch. So I'm going to do 1 full piece in black. And then I'm going to do I just need the circle in yellow because I'm going to build a bumblebee. And then I'm going to take a piece of vellum, and that's going to be my leaf, or my wings. Okay, so where are my snips? Here they are, sitting right here. I've got a whole pile of stuff, guys, that I needed. And there is a lot to this project, but, okay. So I'm going to just cut that straight off. And then, don't lose my pieces, because you know me, I'm going to lose my pieces. I'm going to pull in a piece of, scratch paper. And I'm pulling in a piece of scrap to use as a guide. I'm going to draw some lines on this little bumblebee. And I'm eyeballing it. If you are particular, you could use a piece of grid paper. That's just fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just a little bit more fly by the seat of my pants. So I'm using a black, the dark black. I've got a dark evening evergreen. That's not what I want. I'm going to use the dark black. Stampin' Blend. The evergreen would have probably worked just fine. In fact, I think I used that on my other one. So I'm just going to draw some lines and then fill it in so that it's a little darker. So it's a thicker line, right? Okay. So there's one. Oh, for Pete's sake, you little fella. My line got a little crooked. I'm not going to mess with it, because if I mess with it, then it's going to make it worse. Okay. Fill that one in. And I think I'll do one more. And I'm sure if you wanted to, you could put strips of paper on. There might be an easier way to make a bumblebee. I just thought that this was the way I figured it out to do it. And I thought, well, that works. So there we go. So there's our little bumblebee body. Cover that up. And let's build us a bee, huh? So I'm going to take my Tombow glue and just put it on. Oof, I got a big bubble there of it. And let's just put that together and make us a bee. Just like that. So there's its body. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. And then to attach our wings, I'm just going to use one glue dot. And we're going to hide that glue dot because it's going to show through the vellum. But we're going to hide it. So don't worry. So we're going to put our little wings on there. Just like that. Is that not the cutest little bee you've ever seen? It's about the only cute bee I've ever seen. Okay, so he's going to sit right there probably. Okay, so now let's let that sit for just a little bit longer. I'm going to put our sentiment. And our sentiment comes from, I really did pull in products from all over the place. My sentiment is from the Here Together stamp set bundle. It's from the dies. I'm going to use You Matter. Remember, this is only available until May 1st. After that, this bundle retires. So keep that in mind if that's something that you're interested in. But I'm going to use the You Matter, and I'm going to put it in black, the basic black paper. I'm going to run it through my cut and emboss machine. I'll be right back. And I love using the big sentiments, and I like it when they do a die cut that's a sentiment, because it makes it so simple. So I ran it through my cut and emboss, and that popped right off. And so this is what we're left with. And I could use my brush, which is right here. Let's see if I can find my, I didn't take that out because last time it didn't. There it is. I can feel it. Okay, so I'll show you how the brush works. And you could poke this out little by little. Absolutely. But this is what the brush is intended to be, the die brush. So I'll show you. Because for the intricate dies, this is really like the magic ticket right here. So this little brush is an addition to the Take Your Pick tool. And it comes with two of these, I think 2 of these foam mats, at least one, if not 2. And you're going to just run it over your die cut, and it makes it so all those little pieces just kind of pop right out. And the words can be a little stuck in there because there's so much curly Q and stuff going on. But then you can just poke out my inside of my T didn't cut very nice. The dirty devil. There's that one. I've got a couple spots there. And to prevent that, you could always run it through twice. So when you go through the big shot once, you just roll it backwards a second time. And that's going to prevent what just happened to me. So just saying, you could totally do that. Let's give this guy a little haircut, huh? And he's almost cut through, so he really doesn't need much. I just don't want to rip it and make a mess. Okay, there we go. So I got it to come out, and there we have our sentiment. Now I've got pieces everywhere. All right, so I'm going to put that on just like that. Okay, so let's do first things first. Let's get rid of this extra. I've let that Tombow glue dry, so I'm going to bring my sanding block back in. And I'm just going to roll it along the edge. And the bottom is almost lined up, but I want it to roll really nicely with that bottom edge. And remember, just go one direction. That way it rolls really nicely with the piece there. All right. Perfect. See how nice that sands like that? It works really well with the paper like that. It comes right off. So now we've got our piece of paper, and I think I must have some glue. I think I touched the glue, so that's adhesive, and I'm just taking that adhesive off. I probably touched it one too many times with my sticky fingers. That would never ever happen. You guys, I'm telling you, if you don't have adhesive remover, you can get these on Amazon or at any craft store. This is a must. You need to have this in your card making arsenal just to remove those little, I call them goobers. I don't know what they're, adhesive accidents that happen. Cleans it right up. Handy, handy, handy little tool. Okay, so let's put some adhesive on our sentiment. And I use the Tombow glue, and I just make sure I use one I like to use one that's relatively full. The fine tip glue pen would work really well for this also. But I just find that if I put just a little bit, squeeze just a little, I don't need a whole lot. You could also use adhesive sheets when you're putting it, like you put it on your cardstock before you put it through your big shot. That's another really handy handy adhesive to use. This is really, like, I putz with this. This is my preference. Unless I'm doing a lot of them, then I might pull out my adhesive sheets. The adhesive sheets, they tend to be a little trickier to cut through, and that's why I wouldn't use them on a really intricate die. This one maybe would have been okay, but on the really intricate dies, it's kind of a catch-22, where yeah, that would be great, but they tend to really get just really hard to take them apart. So, okay, let's put that on quick before it dries. I'm going to put that right there and just press it down. And if you have to, you can come back and put a little bit more on parts that aren't quite sticking like you want them to. There's that one. There we go. You matter. Everybody needs to hear that, right? You matter. Okay, so now our little Bumblebee. Isn't he cute? I just love him. I just love him. Okay, where did my take your pick tool go? Right here. I'm going to take that end back off because I like my paste that's at the end. So I would like to bump that guy up. With some dimensionals, which are low. I had more than one sheet out here too. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to bump him up, and I'm going to make sure I put enough foam dimensionals on the back of my little bee, only because I don't want at any point for this to sag. So I'm probably overdoing it, but I want to overdo it, and it's my project, so there we go. So, isn't he cute? Oh, I love that little bee. So like I said down here, I like to have just a little bit of sparkle. So I'm going to put just a little bit of Wink of Stella, of course, on my bee's wings. If you give your Wink of Stella a shake, tends to help it come out a little bit better. Don't squeeze it too much because you'll end up with a puddle and then it makes lines and it's kind of loses the subtleness, I guess you could say. I think I wiped off my, I did. Let's put a little bit more on our clouds because I think I wiped it off whenever I used my adhesive eraser. There we go. There, it adds a little bit more sparkle. I like that better. Perfect. Okay, now you can still, isn't that cute? Look at how you can, like the little sparkles and the, I love it. So you can still see that glue dot. Remember I said I was going to cover that up? There's a few different options you can use. I'm going to use a matte black dot. I would say any black dot would work good. If you want to put something different, that's totally, there's no right or wrong here, right? This is totally whatever would make you, whoopsie-doo, whatever would make you happy. So we're going to push that down just a bit. Cute. And then I thought, okay, it's cute, but I need just a little bit more bling. So I pulled in my in color jewels, the 2021 to 2023 in color jewels, because I thought that this color here would work the best. That's the soft succulent, which is another like greenish color. And I thought just a few of those on there would look really, really cute. I left it on there. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, which is, I need to get a new piece of putty. Let's do that. So we just need to squeeze it up just a smidge until it comes out, and then I roll it back so it doesn't keep coming out. And then it'll pick your little gems up a whole lot easier. 1, 2, 3. Do I want another one? I think I'm going to put 2 more. Another little one down here. And I think another big one. No, I'm going to do another little one because I got 2 big ones up there. I'm going to do that right there. There. Is that not the cutest thing? But wait, it needs a little bit more yellow. So I'm pulling in the gingham yellow, and this is, so this piece of yellow was Daffodil Delight. This yellow I do believe is Bumblebee, but I don't care. I need a little bow. So let's see what I can do, if I can make a bow in front of you guys today. I'm just doing a little one. I'm not doing anything spectacular, but I'm going to do it right on my little hanger, because I thought I would kind of dress that hanger up just a smidge. Oh, that looked really cute. That turned out well. So I surprised myself. That turned out cute. Oh, trim that, give that a little angle. My paper scissors aren't working on my fabric. Oh, cute. All right, so there is my finished project. And this is why my desk is a mess, because there we go. Isn't that cute? So like for $1, I got this and I made it my own, and you matter. And it's the inspiration from that piece that I posted on my Facebook page with the yellow and the turquoise colors. I just think it's so cute and I love it. And I am going to be hanging this in my office at work. So if you're ever in Swanville and you want to stop by and see it, stop on by, because it'll be hanging in the post office for a little while. So I'm going to flip the camera around and say goodbye. One moment. I know how to do this. Wow. It's terrible, isn't it? There we go. Oh, okay. Isn't that cute? I love it. It makes me so happy. And so I did do 2 of them. And of course, I had to do a test one, right? I changed my bow. I can show you just a little bit. I changed my bow. And then I went the opposite direction with my rainbows. So you'll have to let me know which one you like best. I think I like this rainbow better, but both of them are really cool. I like them both. I like the bow on this one better. So all kinds of different options. Try something new. Don't feel like because you're a card maker that you only have to make cards. Try something new. Use different mediums, use different places. Have fun, create, let your imagination go wild, because that is when you have the funnest crafting experience. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a holler. Otherwise, I will see you back here next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.